hot mess, dude. Which we know. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kyla, and today is August 19th. Now, some of you may think that this is any other day, but it's actually the night before move-in for college, which is really crazy. But it's also crazy because it's August 19th. I haven't, filmed anything since June, and I haven't posted anything since May. So I kind of disappeared off the face of YouTube for a little bit, just tiny bit. There was a lot going on. So we're going to take some time today to kind of debrief before I start, not necessarily start college classes, but I do start college tomorrow because I move in tomorrow. So today's video, we're just kind of gonna debrief these last few months. We're gonna have a chat. So we'll talk about what's happened since senior week, what's happened since nationals, and what I'm kind of planning for the future. So, sorry, I almost forgot what I was going to talk about. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So, as I just mentioned, I have not posted anything since May. So when you guys are seeing this, I will have another vlog up that isn't this one, and it's from Nationals for Speech and Debate. But basically, since senior week, I have gone through a lot, right? I didn't end up doing a catch-up vlog after senior week, even though a ton happened. So after senior week, I announced to you guys everything. I went to prom, and I was gonna do a prom vlog, and then I decided against it. I'm not honestly sure why. I did have a reasoning about a month and a half ago when I decided not to post it, but now it's not clicking. But I'm going to stay true to what I was feeling at the time and still not post that vlog, especially since I do have a vlog that I do want to post, which is my nationals vlog. But yeah, I went to prom. After prom, I basically didn't have any school, but I did have AP testing, so I was still going back to school for all my AP testing and to get checklists signed for all my senior week, or for graduation and stuff. So AP testing obviously is very stressful. I did have 4 exams again this year. I had 4 exams for my junior year as well, and they actually went really well. They were pretty smooth. I got really good scores. So I got a 4 on my AP Gov test, a 4 on my AP Environmental Science test, which was really shocking because science is one of my least well-performing classes, but I did really good in APES. And I got a 3 in AP Lit, was kind of hoping for a 4, but I'm content with a 3. And I got a 2 on AP Macroeconomics. Now, a lot of you are going to think that's really bad. I thought I was going to get a 1. So the fact that I got a 2, I'm okay with it. Okay, I can retake macro in college, okay? Okay. But yeah, so that was crazy. That was 4 tests over the span of 2 weeks. I had 3 of those tests in 1 week and 1 the following week. So it was a lot of testing. But after all the AP tests was graduation. Now, I wish I could say that graduation day was the best day of my life, but in all honesty, I can barely remember it. If you guys have been watching for the last few months, you know that I have been going through a really rough time since about November, December. So, and it's still continuing even to today. Even though I'm dealing with stuff better, it's still really hard. So it takes a lot out of me, and I'm trying to rework on my mental health because that's where it's hit the most. And I see a lot of issues with me constantly disassociating. And graduation day happened to be a day where I was heavily disassociating. So I honestly just wanted to get graduation day over with. It was kind of like any old day. I sat through graduation for 2 hours. We left. My mom and I got some boba, came home. We had a family barbecue dinner. And then basically all family that came in left that evening or earlier the next morning. So it was quick. It was very fast, and it didn't really feel like anything too special. But after graduation, I still was involved with Rio Rancho Public Schools because I still had work. For you that don't know, I did have a job my senior year. It was actually my first job ever, and I worked for an after-school program at my district at one of my elementary schools in our district, and by far one of the best experiences of my life. I was terrified of going into this job, okay? The only reason I had chose to do this job was because I wanted a job where I could walk. And where I lived, the closest grocery store was like maybe, if I was lucky, a 3-mile walk, which is really, really, really far. Yeah, so the closest thing to my house was an elementary school. So I was like, you know, it pays well, I need to work, I want to save up for college, I'll just do it. Terrified of kids. They just intimidated me because I didn't know, like, I don't know how to deal with kids. Kids are like, still to this day, kids are weird, right? Kids are weird. And to deal with like mass groups of them ranging from kindergarten to 5th grade, I was like, that's intimidating. I've never handled kids. I've never dealt with kids. I'm like, but best experience of my life. I got into a flow pretty quickly, and this is gonna sound really weird, but kids are a lot like puppies, and I'm really good with puppies. So it was kind of just like having discipline wise, it was very similar to literally how I talk to my dogs, but every kid has such a personality, obviously, and getting to know all of them one-on-one, and we had about 50 kids, so there's a good chunk of them, but and obviously, like, don't let anyone lie to you, you have your favorites. And the connection I built with my favorite kiddos was honestly, it was everything. Obviously, that job was not all sunshine and rainbows. There were so many days where I was like this close to quitting. Most of the time wasn't because of the kids, it was actually because of like staff problems and all of that. So grown-up stuff. It wasn't even kid stuff, but kids have rough days too, which isn't great when you're also having a rough day. Everyone's having a rough day, and it's just not fun. But overall, seriously, one of the greatest experiences of my life. So when I had to, like, when it was the last day of school, I was literally such a wreck. I like came home, I was sobbing because it's not like, I was like, I'm never gonna see these kids again, right? And they've had such a huge impact on me as a person. Like, the amount of personal growth I had, like just experienced from working with a bunch of elementary school kids was insane. And for something that was so huge in my life to just kind of end like that, and I was never going to see those kids again, and the little kinders that I built such great relationships with, not being able to see them grow up, oh my gosh, I was like, I was heartbroken to have to leave that job knowing that I wasn't going to be able to come back the following year because I was moving to Iowa. And I will be completely transparent, it did for about a solid 2 weeks put me into a pretty deep depression. So after summer break started, I was basically sleeping all the time, which wasn't great because I needed to be doing prep for nationals for speech and debate. So fast forward to the end of those 2 weeks, I was panicking because I was in such a poor mental space that I procrastinated what I need to be doing for nationals. Yeah, so anyways, we came out to Iowa for nationals. You guys will have seen that vlog already. I plan on actually editing that vlog later this week after I get settled into my dorm and everything tomorrow. But yeah, you guys saw nationals and all of that good stuff. But after nationals, I had freshman orientation, which was a blast. I'm not gonna lie, it was awkward, okay? Don't let anyone fool you about freshman orientation for college students. It's awkward, okay? Because like all of the students are in the same spot where we're like, this is new, I don't know like any of y'all. I'm gonna be real, try and have conversation maybe, or be really awkwardly silent. Like, you could just tell like conversations were just awkward, like they weren't like conversations, you know, but it was still a blast. I got to know some people, and I hung out with a lot of people, and as we started to like get into the flow of things, that we had more like normal conversations and not like, oh, that's so cool, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like if you're going into college and you've been to orientation, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you just have to experience it to understand. I'm gonna be so for real with you. But it was a really great experience. And then after orientation, we came back to New Mexico, and oh my gosh, everything just kind of went downhill for real. And like, it was just one thing after the other. So let's get into that. I know I just like really sped through and like rambled about everything that happened in like May to June, but let me tell you, July, yeah, what a train wreck in slow motion. Yeah, okay, so we start off July. Unfortunately, my grandmother passed away, so I was dealing with grief again, which was not fun, obviously, and we're hustling to get everything packed. Initially, we were planning on leaving New Mexico and moving to Iowa July 15th. We left we left August 1st. But with that in mind, we got back to New Mexico June 29th. So that gave us like 2 weeks before our planned time to leave to pack everything, okay? To sell everything, to pack everything, oh my gosh, it was so stressful because we downsized like crazy. So we were selling all of our stuff. We were throwing away or goodwilling all of our stuff. So it was like back and forth trips all the time, going through everything, getting ready to pack stuff, getting the pod packed, deciding if we needed a U-Haul because the pod wasn't going to be enough space. It was non-stop. Oh my gosh, it was such a stressful time. My mom and I have never been so exhausted because we weren't sleeping. We were staying up all night. We were to do all of our packing. There was heavy lifting. We were doing garage sales back to back to back to back, working with people. I barely had any time to say goodbye to any of my friends because it was just chaos. Now, it just never stopped. So during that time, obviously we were doing our checkups for our dogs and making sure they were good for when we moved. And I'm just gonna be very blunt about this. I went from having 3 dogs to having 1 when we moved here. And that was hard. That was really, really hard. So you guys have seen Nala in a lot of vlogs. Nala is my baby. She is a baby. So she is the dog that is still with us currently. She's hanging out with my mom right now. But we also had Louie and Lola. Now Louie I've had since I was 4, and we did know before moving that we were going to have to say goodbye to Louie. So yeah, we knew we were gonna have to say goodbye to Louie, who that was really hard, but also was very necessary, and we, in all honesty, did put it off until the very last minute, and that may not have been fair to him, but basically around a year and a half ago, Louie started showing signs of what we call doggy dementia, where he was just lost. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he wasn't like understanding when we were calling for him, which meant that obviously he was losing his hearing. But when we would have him in the house in his bed, he would wander, and he would sometimes get himself stuck behind like a washer or a dryer, or he'd wander into the bathroom and get himself stuck behind a toilet. And over the last year, this had just progressed to get really dangerous for him. So beyond just that, he also stopped recognizing my family. It was about, I don't know, a few months ago when I recognized that Louie wasn't recognizing who I was. And obviously having this dog since I was 4, that was heartbreaking. Like, if you have a dog, you know what it looks like when their whole face lights up when they see you, because, oh, it's my family. And when Louis looked at me like he didn't know who I was, oh my gosh, like heartbreaking. And it just got worse to the point where, like, when he was outside, he'd get himself stuck behind the shed and I'd have to go and get him out from behind, and he'd get scared because he didn't know who I was. He also started developing really bad tumors, and he started to lose control of his bodily movements, and so it was just time. So, all that to say that we did know that we were going to have to put Louis down before moving to Iowa, because his state of health was very, very poor. So he was not living a happy, healthy life. But even if we did move him, he was already lost in his own home so much that it would truly be cruel to move him to a place he had never consciously known. So we had known for a while that we were going to have to say goodbye to Louis. What we were not expecting was also having to say goodbye to Lola. Lola's loss was a huge, huge, huge heartbreak. Louis was too, 100%. Lola is just a little bit different. We all have different relationships with our dogs, and Lola was truly, truly special. So we got Lola about a year after we got Louis, so she was also aging fairly quickly, but she's such a happy girl. I mean, even up until that last moment, she truly was so happy. But over the last few months, we had seen her have some days where she would not move. We had some, and during those days, like, we weren't sure if she was going to make it. But after about 24 hours, she was fine. She was happy-go-lucky, running around again, eating, drinking, like doing all these things that were just showed us that we were healthy. But when we took her to the vet, she was very tense in the stomach, and you could see kind of like her skull, I guess kind of, that's how you say it. And our doctor said that because she tensed so much with her stomach that it was obvious she was in a lot of pain in her stomach, and she had lost a lot of muscle mass in her head, which indicated to him that not only was she in a lot of pain, but that there was something growing. And he advised us that it would not be fair to Lola to move her with us, that it would just cause harm, and it would be a miracle if she would even make it to Iowa with us. So we unfortunately did have to say goodbye to our Lola. Like I said, Lola was really, really special. We got Lola, and she's a rescue, but she was just covered in fleas and ticks, and we got that taken care of. Then we brought her home, and she got parvo and almost died from parvo, and then a little bit later she fell down the stairs with my dad and shattered her back leg, so she had surgery. She never really had the chance to be a puppy, and she was still the happiest dog you would have ever met. Always had her tail wagging, always happy to see you, always, always, always. And a few years later, she even got diagnosed with a thyroid issue, and still the biggest lover. Louis was never a lover, but I still loved him nonetheless, because, I mean, you love your animals. It doesn't matter if they love you back, you love them. But just, Lola loved with all her heart, so losing her was so, so hard. And it's took a toll on Nala, for sure. I've definitely seen Nala, like, in a more depressed state. She's had a really rough transition, and yeah, but I had to say goodbye to Louis and Lola, in the span of a week, so it was really hard. And then literally like 2 days after saying goodbye, to both of them, we upped and left and moved. So it's been crazy, and for the first 2 weeks we were living in hotels. Getting out here was so hard. It was just a rough trip, a rough experience. Obviously, we are now in a new house. This is our new rental. We were renting back in New Mexico too, so we were planning to rent here till we get established and get some savings saved up. Then we'll purchase out here because we want to stay here. New Mexico, we knew we were leaving after 4 years. We did not like New Mexico. That's just us. I get it if you do, but New Mexico truly was a degrading and draining place on my family and I. So we are grateful that we were able to leave New Mexico, and now we're in Iowa. But oh my gosh, like I had all these plans to film moving stuff. Like there's no greater content than moving, you know? But it was so chaotic and it was so draining. I was so burnt out. I was heartbroken. I was going through so much grief. And I still am. But I just, man, it's been rough. Really rough. Like, on top of everything that's happened this last year, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm just exhausted. But we're getting settled. We're starting new routines. We're starting college. We're starting a whole new chapter, which can only mean good things from here. So yeah, that's honestly, I feel like it's a very simple rundown of what happened. I know I talk really fast, but I'm sure I skipped over a ton of stuff. I just, man, it's been so crazy. And I wanted you guys to like get an understanding of everything that's been happening. So you're not like, oh, she's just like, she's not serious about content making. I'm like, no, I am. Truly, I am. I haven't had the time to pick up a camera, let alone edit. Obviously, the last time I picked up a camera was in June, and I still haven't even edited that time. So it's been a lot, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to be at a spot where I'm like, okay, I can pick up the camera now. Okay, I can edit within a good time span and actually get content out again. And I'm so excited for that. And I'm excited for you guys to come with me. So let's move on into kind of what to expect, because this is beginning a whole new chapter, a whole new era, and a whole new everything for what my content is going to be in the future, what this channel is going to be in the future, because my entire life is changing, so my entire content is going to change as well. So let's talk about it. So obviously with move-in tomorrow, I'm starting a whole different time in my life, which is really exciting, really fun, really cool, really scary. But with all of that, I really do want to focus on creating content because my time looks really different now. I don't spend 8 hours consistently at school or in class or doing stuff. I'm not taking classes that I don't want to take. I have workload that I can do in my free time because I'm gonna have more of that, and it's just like, I'm excited because I'm gonna have more time to make the content I want to make and to take the time to edit it the way I want to. That being said, I also have a lot more stuff that I'm doing, so I'm like learning different type of time management that isn't anything I've ever known before, which is very exciting. I have already some commitments that I'm really excited about. So obviously, I will be taking classes. I have 5 classes right now. I'm excited about all of them, so it's really fun. We'll go into detail about that in another video. But I also am in a scholars program. It's a public democracy scholars program, which does require a lot of time. I'm so excited for it. I was so happy when I found out that I was accepted. Literally, this program, it will be life-changing. It will set me up for life, and I'm so excited for this program. I also am going to be a student athlete, which is really surprising. I got an email from the head of rowing at Drake, and I have decided that I want to take up rowing. Never rowed in my life. I haven't done sports in well over 4 years. and I'm walking onto a Division 1 sport. This is very common for drake rowing, so it's not like I'm the oddball out. A lot of their top performing rowers actually did start as walk-ons their freshman year, so yeah, and I'm very committed to everything that I do, so I know that if I take the time to dedicate to it, that it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll go into more detail about why I decided to do rowing probably at a later date, but I'm very excited about that. And I'm also doing work study, so I have training, I think on Saturday. I need to check my calendar, but I have training for that. I'm working at the Open Rec Center on campus, which is basically the fitness area. But yeah, so I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing, and obviously content creation is something that I want to keep doing. I'm also going to be 18 in literally 3 weeks, so that gives me more opportunity to kind of expand upon that, and I'm just really excited. So I'm going to do my best. It may be rocky this first little bit until I got into a routine, but I really want to be so consistent. I want to get more involved. I want to have different platforms of content creation that aren't just YouTube. I want to be doing different styles. Obviously, like, I don't do a lot of sit-down vlogs, but maybe I want to. And yeah, I'm so excited for this new chapter. I'm so excited to bring you guys along with. I will be vlogging tomorrow for move-in day, so keep an eye out for that vlog coming hopefully soon after this vlog is dropped. But I'm really excited, and I don't know, I'm gonna keep saying I'm excited because it's the only word I know how to say right now. But yeah, I hope you guys, if this is your first time watching me, you probably were just like bombarded like crazy, but that's okay, right? I hope that's okay. I don't know. Maybe you're not okay with it. But if you are and you like my personality based on how I've been talking, really cool with me, go ahead and, you know, drop a subscribe down below and stick along for this journey. If you've been here, continue watching, and I'm so grateful to have all my viewers that I do have. And I'm so ready for this new chapter, and I'm so excited to bring you guys along with me. I am going to go ahead and end this video here. This video was a lot more chaotic than I think I was planning it to be. I knew that I wanted to talk about life and everything happening. I just didn't really have a structure to it, which could be a poor thing or a really good thing, depending on how you look at it. But I do hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys stay along for this new era in my life, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and comment down below, and hit that post notification bell. I will see you guys in many more videos to come. Bye, guys.